Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. We're coming to you live this Friday, the 26th day of September, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matters. Get to the stories that matter today. Tropical cyclone Oppong has made landfall in eastern Samar and has now weakened into a severe tropical storm as it crosses Masbate. Former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo links Senator Cheese Escudero and other lawmakers in the flood control mess. And Filipina tennis star Alex Iyala cruises into the Qingshan Open quarterfinals, dominating Japan's bet in straight sets. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, bombshell after bombshell rocked the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing yesterday. This is after more high-profile politicians were accused of receiving millions in kickbacks from flood control projects. Here is a report.
Ako po ay umaamin sa aking maling nagawa. Nakagawa po ako ng pagkakamali at pinahintulutan ko po ang aking sarili na maging kasangkapan sa pagpapatupad ng isang masamang gawain. Handa po akong gawin ang lahat ng nararapat upang maiwasto ang aking kamalian.
That's what resigned Public Works Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo said before making his revelations at the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Thursday. It was Bernardo's first time attending the hearing. Bernardo tagged Ako Bicol Representative Zaldy Co, who allegedly demanded a 25% commission per project. 2% of that cut, he claims, went to himself and former Bulacan District Engineer Henry Alcantara.
Engineer Alcantara would tell me every time that he made deliveries of cash to Congressman Zaldy Co in compliance with his commitment to Congressman Zaldy Co.
Senator Cheese Escudero was also linked through his close friend and campaign contributor, Maynard Ngu. Bernardo claims he personally handed over 160 million pesos to Ngu, allegedly meant for Escudero.
The delivery of the 160 million for Senator Cheese referred to in paragraph 17 of my affidavit happened sometime in the first quarter of 2025.
Bernardo claims Revilla asked for a 25% cut from multiple projects amounting to 125 million pesos delivered in cash to his Cavite home. Former Senator and now Makati Mayor Nancy Binay was also named, with her staffer Carlene Villa allegedly asking for 15%. Bernardo alleges that 37 million pesos was delivered to Binay's residence in Quezon City. And in another explosive claim, a total of 427 million pesos in kickbacks were supposedly requested for the office of the Executive Secretary through DepEd Yusek Trive Olayvar. But another witness dropped even more bombshells. Orly Guteza, a former security consultant to Zaldy Co, testified that he personally handled dozens of suitcases, each containing up to 48 million pesos in cash. He claims 46 suitcases amounting to over 2.2 billion pesos were delivered to Cos House in Pasig. Guteza also pointed to former House Speaker Martin Romualdez saying 35 suitcases went to McKinley residence in Taguig. Other deliveries, he said, were made to Forbes Park, Malacanang Aguado's residence, and even to businessman Michael Yang's former property.
Ang bawat malita ay may lamang humigit kumulang 48 million pesos.
But those names have begun to push back. Escudero denied the allegations and described them as a well-orchestrated plan to attack the Senate and divert public attention from the real culprits. Binay also dismissed the claims and said she was surprised to be linked to DPWH anomalies. She stressed that her record in public service has always been above board. Benguet Representative Eric Yap was accused by Guteza of delivering cash to Co, also denied the claim. Meanwhile, Bersamin denied any involvement in DPWH budget allocations or dealings with Bernardo. Romualdez also branded the claim as a complete fabrication. He dismissed Guteza's testimony as political and coached, and noted that the witness was presented by Senator Rodante Marcoleta, a known Duterte ally. Following the hearing, the National Bureau of Investigation has recommended the filing of malversation charges against Escudero, Binay, and Romualdez over alleged kickbacks in public work projects.
House Chief Communications Officer Ace Barber said Speaker Boji D has not yet received any update on the medical condition of Representative Zaldy Co. The Speaker is also unaware of reports claiming that Co is in Madrid, Barbers added they are awaiting an official statement from Co's office. Meanwhile, barbers noted that there appear to be inconsistencies in the expose of the former security officer of Co, who alleged delivering suitcases of money to Representative Martin Romualdez at least 3 times a week.
Hindi rin natin alam kung ano yung latest status and whatever information related to his medical condition, and we'll be expecting information to be shared by his office soon, no? Especially after he is informed or he is aware already of the cancellation.
In weather, Oppong has weakened into a severe tropical storm following its landfall over eastern Samar. As of 5 a.m. this morning, Oppong was spotted in the vicinity of Palanas in Masbate. It is packing winds of 110 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 150 kph. Pag-asa says Oppong will continue to traverse Masbate, Sibuyan Sea, southern Calabarzon, and northern Mimaropa. Re-intensifying is also highly likely once Oppong emerges over the West Philippine Sea late evening today or tomorrow morning. Meantime, signal number 3 is hoisted over parts of Luzon and Visayas, including Sorsogon, Masbate, and areas in Samar. Meantime, signal number 3 is hoisted over parts of Luzon and Visayas, including Sorsogon, Masbate, again, and Catanduanes. The rest of Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, the rest of Quezon and Metro Manila are under signal number 2. The rest of the areas are flashed on your screens. Signal number 3 is raised over several areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Meanwhile, the palace has suspended classes at all levels, as well as government office work in several areas today, September 26, due to severe tropical storm Oppong. Now, these areas include Metro Manila, Biliran, Eastern Samar, Northern Samar, Samar, Masbate, Romblon, and Sorsogon. Classes are also suspended at all levels in Aklan, Albay, Antique, Batangas, Bataan, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Capiz, Cavite, Catanduanes, Guimaras, Iloilo, Laguna, Leyte, Marinduque, Negros Occidental, Oriental Mindoro, Rizal, and Quezon. Meanwhile, several domestic flights have also been canceled due to Oppong, and these are now flashed on your screen. That's the latest in weather. Don't go away. When we return, we'll talk about the Blue Ribbon Committee hearing with Vice Chair Senator Erwin Tulfo. When Morning Matters returns, keep it here on One News. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho, and here at Morning Matters, we talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee may be wrapping up its investigation into the flood control project anomalies. Senator Erwin Tulfo says there could be 1 or 2 more hearings left in the series, and yesterday marked the committee's 6th session on the issue. Meantime, Tulfo said that if it were up to him, he would temporarily remove parliamentary courtesy to send invitations to concerned parties. However, he also acknowledged that with the existence of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, investigations may overlap. And to talk about the Senate's Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on flood control projects, we have on the show this morning Senator Erwin Tulfo. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Senator.
Thank you, Ms. Gretchen. Magandang umaga din sa iyo.
Senator, unang-una kagabi po may lumabas na statement mula po dito sa nagnotaryo doon po sa affidavit ni Orly Guteza, si Attorney Espera. Sabi po niya, peke daw po itong notaryo. I quote, I categorically deny notarizing, signing, or participating in the preparation of the said document. The signature and notarial details attributed to me are falsified and unauthorized. How do you think does this affect the statement of the witness?
Definitely, kung the lawyer who supposedly signed his affidavit is denying it na pinirmahan niya, therefore, ay nawawala ng saysay yung testigo ngayon. I mean, yung statement niya because yung lawyer na signed it, sinasabing hindi siya pumirma. Then the question is, sino? At saka, sino nag-prepare ng statement na yon? So, malaking impact ito, Ms. Gretchen. Very, very surprising at malaki ang medyo mababawasan ang kredibilidad ng kanyang mga sinabi.
Oo nga po, malaki yung dagok no, dun sa kanyang testimonya. Pero does it change things given na nag-testify po siya under oath kahapon? Kailangan po ba niya, kumbaga, i-refile itong kanyang affidavit?
We will have to invite him sa next hearing. I don't know when. I still have to consult with our chairman, Senator Ping Lacson, kung kailan yung next hearing. Pero definitely, he's already aware, including the Senate President, doon sa pahayag ng attorney last night. So I guess definitely we will have a meeting or a hearing soon at maimbitahan itong tao nito because we have a lot of questions now. The thing is, ako mismo, I'll ask him, I mean, bakit mo sinabi, bakit nakapirma dito itong attorney na ito, ngayon tinatanggi? O, totoo ba ito? So, we will have to ask him, kasi, and then inform him na nawawalan tuloy ng saysay itong mga sinabi mo, because dito pa lang sa pumirma ng attorney, na affidavit mo, ay tinatanggi na pumirma siya dyan. So, malaking question mark ngayon.
Medyo mabibigat nga po ang kanyang mga statement kahapon, specifically linking the former House Speaker Martin Romualdez to the whole flood control fiasco. His name has been mentioned already. And does his involvement add up to you? I mean, kahapon po sabi po ninyo, mukha naman po siya nagsasabi ng totoo. Kailangan lang maging consistent dito sa mga pahayag. O meron pa po kayong nakikitang butas dito? O meron pa po ba kayong hinahanap na detalye that raises questions?
Yeah, yung delivery kasi may mga nagte-text sa akin, may mga lawyers, yung lawyers ko while they're behind me, they were texting me na parang nakakapagtaka, Sen, bakit ganon? Ilang sasakyan ba? Kung 17 suitcases na hanggang bewang niya, hindi basta-basta magkakasya yung 17 na yun sa isa or dalawang van lang. Let alone yung sinasabi niyang nag-deliver sa kanila sa bahay ni Zaldy Co nung siya ang tumanggap noon ay 46 suitcases. Ang daming van noon o ang daming truck or kailangan mo ng truck. Siyempre magtataka na yung security ng Valle Verde 6. So what we're going to do, we will ask him or if not, we will subpoena the CCTV of Valle Verde 6 kung may ganun nga kadaming sasakyan. Kasi kung isang sasakyan lang, we don't believe na kakasya kahit anong van pa. 46 na malalaking suitcases. Hindi kakasya. Kailangan mo na ng container van siguro. Or the least, isang maliit na mini truck, Miss Gretchen.
Ito pong bahay din po sa Forbes Park, yan din po ba hihingan din yun ng CCTV?
Definitely. So para magtugma, kung maging consistent yung sinasabi niya. Kaya doon pa lang when I was asked by the media, may duda ba kayo? So kasi hindi natin natanong dahil naubos yung oras ko. Definitely we'll be asking the CCTV of Forbes Park, of Valle Verde, na mga dates na ito. We will have to ask him anong specific dates again na Mr. Gutesa na sinabi niyo nag-deliver kayo, may mga delivery kayo para makita po natin kung talagang consistent yung kanyang mga sinabi, may kaugnayan kung doon sa video may mga sasakyan nga na nag-deliver, lalo na yung pag-deliver ng at least 46 suitcases. Nakita ko ngayong umaga, maraming nagre-react ng mga netizens. They're saying, how can it be possible na isa, dalawa sasakyan? So very glaring yun, Miss Gretchen. Dapat at least mga, sila Bryce nga, 20 suitcases lang, 7 van na kaagad. So this one must be around 15 or 20 na vans. Magtataka yung security ng Balita.
Pero that data po is available, yung CCTV. Confident naman po kayo na nandyan?
We don't have it yet, but we will subpoena, of course, the Valle Verde and the Forbes Park authorities for security for those CCTVs.
And with that, are you also planning to invite the House Speaker, former House Speaker, Martin Romualdez to the hearing? Kasi kahapon po may pagtatalo po tungkol doon sa, di ba, may interparliamentary courtesy nga po, pero nothing stops the Senate from inviting, quote-unquote. Will you extend that invitation to the House Speaker?
We can invite. We can only invite, but we cannot force it because may interparliamentary courtesy nga kung tawagin, and it has been a practice for a long time now na we cannot invite congressman in the Senate investigation. Ganun din yung Congress, if they're investigating a senator, they cannot invite. Kaya nga voluntary na lang, like what happened with Congressman Toby Chanco. Voluntarily we invited him, and voluntarily he went. So we'll extend the invitation so that we will give time for the speaker to answer. Kung tatanggapin niya, then that's the only time. Pero we cannot force anybody or members of the Congress.
Correct.
Or even the Senate niya na kailangan mo mag-appear. We cannot even issue a subpoena to these officials.
Pero meron na po bang nagpahiwatig sa inyo na gusto po nilang mag-appear dito? Because sa kanya-kanya po silang release ng statements of denial yesterday, which was expected, pero meron na po bang nag-reach out?
Well, wala pa naman, pero trabaho kasi ng ng committee secretariat yon, yung invitation upon the instruction, of course, of our chairman, Senator Ping Lacson. Pero like I've said, kung ako lang masusunod, gusto ko, baka pwede, alisin muna natin isang tabi interparliamentary courtesy na ito. And this is I think, the right, hindi naman proper, kundi isa sa mga forum where they can air their side. So that's what I was looking at na dito sa Senate, you can air your side, di ba? Though it might not be the proper forum kasi airing your side should be done sa mga court of law. So, nakikita ko, kung tatanggapin nilang invitation, Ms. Gretchen.
Kung kayo po ay mapagbibigyan, sino po ang gusto niyo pong ma-invite?
Lahat po ng mga binanggit, di ba? Para matanong natin sila from Speaker of the House, si Ginoong Zaldy Co, talaga yung mga tao are waiting for him. Lahat ng binanggit, pati ni Gutesa, kung lahat yon ng mga personalities na yon. Pati nga siguro yung mga senador, narinig na natin yung dalawa na nagsalita na, si Senator Joel before and Senator Jinggoy. So, kung po pwede lang. Pero pag-uusapan ito ng Blue Ribbon within the next few days, siguro sa Monday, paano ito, yung direction natin, lalo pat lumabas itong attorney na dinidisown niya yung kanyang pirma doon na hindi siya nakapirma doon sa sworn affidavit ni Gutesa.
In the interest of fairness, banggitin na rin po natin yung mga nabanggit kahapon, no? Ng mga senador, si former Senate President Jesus Cudero, Senator Nancy Binay, Senator Bong Revilla, among the senators, of course. Si Senator Mark Villar din po ay nabanggit, no? Bilang siya daw po yung behind the promotion of Yusek Bernardo. Tingin niyo po ba siya din po ay dapat magsalita kasi marami pong nakakapag-observe na hindi po yata siya nababanggit dito. Hindi po nabibring up yung kanyang pangalan.
Kung ako kay Senator Mark Villar, siguro kailangan pagbigay siya ng statement, pero parang nadatnan niyo na lang kasi yung si Yusek Bernardo diyan eh. 'Di ba, he rose from the ranks, sabi niya, laborer siya, umakyat siya ng umakyat, naging assistant secretary yata during the time no, around 2017 if I'm not mistaken. So na-promote siya ng parang rose from the rank. So na-promote siya noong 2017 na lang during the Duterte administration under the leadership of Senator then Secretary Mark Villar.
Well, what is the direction do you think that the Senate will take when it comes to these senators na nabanggit po dito? Ito po ba hands-off na po sa inyo dahil because of conflict of interest, I guess? How can we exact? I guess the people are asking, how can we exact accountability at the highest levels? Kayo na rin po kasi nagsabi, names must be named, heads must roll, justice must be served. Quoting from you po.
That was, I said that when hindi pa na itatatag yung ICI, yung Independent Commission for Infrastructure. Ngayon, nandyan na sila, I guess, mag-overlap yung function namin ICI, and then dito ang Senate. So, ang plano namin, is-surrender na lahat ng mga evidence na hawak namin, mga pieces of evidence that we gather along the way, pati nung unang-una pa nung hearing, bibigay na namin sa ICI. Kasi, pag gano'n ng gano'n, yung maraming lumalabas pa na pangalan, parang hindi na namin trabaho yun, Miss Gretchen. Trabaho na ito ng ICI. Ang trabaho na lang namin is more on to hear, para in aid of legislation, not in aid of prosecuting some people or somebody. Trabaho ng ICI, yung parang aagawan namin ng trabaho ng ICI kasi ang trabaho namin purely for legislation.
And speaking of that, speaking of legislation, critics are saying that it is quite strange that the blame is only being pinned on Zaldy Co and recently former Speaker Martin Romualdez. In other words, parang lumalabas po rito na parang walang kinalaman yung ibang leader ng House of Representatives. Silang dalawa lang po yung pinaka-responsible. Ano pong reaction niyo po doon?
Well, actually, kasi mga approval na yan, lalo sa budget, dumadaan sa House leadership. Pero tama kayo, nagke-question yung mga tao, hanggang doon lang ba? Yun talaga yung proseso. Tapos yung mga pagdating sa BICAM, yung leadership din, yung finance committee ng Senate, pati yung sa Congress, yung appropriations. So, we have to really look into this, Miss Gretchen, kasi we have to avoid this from happening again. Kasi remember, di ba, 2013, nangyari na ito ang tawag dito, pork barrel. Ngayon, binago lang yung DPWH, ang tawag, leadership fund. Hindi rin ako sang-ayon Dapat wala na leadership fund. Ibigay mo na lahat dyan sa agency and let them implement the project. Not us. Walang dapat kinalaman ng politiko. Ang plano namin, we have to come up with a law, legislate a law, na ang pwedeng gawin lang ng congressman, ng senador, ituro niya kung sasabihin ng mayor na kung kailangan ko ng tulay dito sa bayan ko, then all we can do is just tell the secretary, siguro upon the letter of the mayor through congressman ganito, then sasabit lang sa DPWH. Pero hindi yung personal na bibigyan mo ng pondo yung congressman, bibigyan mo ng sariling pondo yung senador. Wala kasi we're legislators, hindi naman kami part ng DPWH. Bakit mo bibigyan ng pondo ang isang mambabatas? Kaya nga mambabatas, gumagawa dapat ng batas, hindi yung gagawa ka ng infrastruktura. That's not our territory, Miss Gretchen.
Tama naman po kayo doon. Ayun nga lang, mga Pilipino usually cannot identify ano yung role ng legislator at saka sa executive, which I think is a different topic altogether. But in the 19th Congress, kayo po ay deputy majority leader noon. Hindi niyo po ba parang naamoy itong mga milagrong nangyayari sa budget? I mean, dumaan din po ito sa small committee and then napag-usapan din po ito sa plenaryo. Wala po ba kayong nakita na parang biglang pag-bloat ng mga numbers?
Hindi, kasi ako part ng appropriations committee. Hindi rin ako kasama sa bicameral conference. Ang trabaho ko noon as Deputy Majority Leader, as a Communications Director, yung mga media releases, public information, yun ang assignment na nakuha ko. So, pagdating doon sa budget, wasn't included. Iba yung trabaho kasi nila, iba rin yung sa akin. Yun yung assignment ko for communications and coordination with the media, with ika nga yung mga press releases ng Congress na ipapalabas sa media.
And speaking of the BICAM, hindi po ba wala naman pong maaprubahan kung without the knowledge of the four highest people involved, which is yun nga po yung House Speaker, Senate President, Finance Chair, si Senator Grace po yun, and then also, yun si Zaldy Co po yung counterpart sa House. I mean, hindi po ba yung apat na yan ang responsible dun po sa budget na lumabas?
Tama ka. I mean, yung apat na yan, kaya nga we're conducting this hearing, lalo dito sa Senate, na paano natin maiwasan na very transparent na from now on yung paggawa ng budget from start to finish, from the NEP, pag sinabmit na sa House and then sa Senate, na pwedeng sundan ng mga tao, na pwedeng i-publish dyan para makita ng public na kung sino ang naglagay, kung magkano. In fairness doon sa mga constituent, kunwari yung mayor nila, nag-request ng ganito, ikinarga ni congressman doon sa NEP. So, mas maganda yung ganun eh. Dapat, for transparency, dapat i-publish talaga. Makikita ng mga tao, pag pindot nila, they go to that website ng government o ng Senate, ng Congress, makikita nila kung ano ang mga nilagay ni District Congressman, ano yung kanyang mga request. Makikita mo kasi doon sa NEP kung anong mga ni-request or after na sa before the BICAM, makikita mo doon lahat, Ms. Gretchen.
Ano po yung nakikita niyong dahilan kung bakit yung mismong sa NEP pa lang, nadadagdagan na po dun? Does that mean somehow the executive can be involved here? Kasi galing po sa kanila yun, hindi po ba?
May problema nga talaga doon. Dapat doon pa lang sa NEP, wala pa kasi that's the President's budget. I have been a secretary, Ms. Gretchen, of DSWD, like around, if I'm not mistaken, May or to June. The Office of the President would already inform the department heads and said like, magkano requirement na kailangan nyo, magkano budget. So we submit it and then there's a breakdown kung saan pupunta yung X amount, 200 billion kailangan ng ganito, ng DSWD, etc. or 150 billion. Saan mapupunta? There's a breakdown. So titignan ng Pangulo yon and then pag-aaralan, siya mismo nagbabawas-bawas na siya doon. Pag labas ng budget ng NEP, may either binawasan niya o dinagdagan niya, then ipapasa sa Congress ngayon. Then the Congress will decide kung may mga additional sila. Yun na nga yung mga request ng Congressman Sara para sa lugar nila, ng mga kalsada, mga tulay, ganun din pag-akyat sa Senate. Pero dapat, doon pa lang, hindi pa nakikialam dapat ang Congressman. Unfortunately, sa 2025, mukhang may mga insertions na, may mga flood control na. Bakit alam ba ng secretary yun? Ibig sabihin, may mga bumulong na sa secretary na lagyan mo naman ako dito. Dapat hindi pa, Ms. Gretchen.
Tama po kayo. At ito nga po ay lahat lumalabas po sa inyong mga pagdinig. Talaga po bang 1 to 2 sessions na lamang ang gagawin ng Blue Ribbon Committee? Kasi mukhang marami pa pong dapat maisiwalat.
Yeah, problema kasi Ms. Gretchen, sasabay na tayo sa mga budget hearing next week. Pero baka sumingit kami ng isa ngayon dahil dito sa nangyaring pagsiwalat ng isang abogado na hindi siya yung gumawa at pumirma sa affidavit ni Gutesa. So we might have another hearing. Pero depende na rin yan sa desisyon ng aming chairman, si Senator Lacson, kung kailan siya magpapatawag ng hearing. Pero I believe this is urgent kasi ang daming binanggit ng testigo na yon, pagkatapos biglang sasabihin ng isang attorney, hindi ako pumirma dyan, hindi ako gumawa ng affidavit niyan. They might question doon sa testimony ni Gutesa. So I guess, kung ako tatanungin, kailangan may isang hearing muna bago kami mag-break para sa budget hearing. Kasi kailangan na namin madaliin itong budget hearing din, which kailangan matapos namin by November, Ms. Gretchen.
Kayo po ba ay naniniwala na qualified to be a state witness si Yusek Bernardo given his statement at ang mga diskaya?
Well, it will be the job of Secretary Remulla ng DOJ, ng NBI, trabaho na nila yun. Basta kami, we will just recommend to them. Actually, ang recommendation namin, not state witness. The recommendation of the committee is like protective custody. There's difference. Protective custody para, ika nga, hindi dahil manganganib ang buhay mo, yung mga siniwalat mo, iba yun sa state witness. Kasi ang state witness, maabsuelto ka doon sa kaso na kinasasangkutan mo. Yun ang problem. So this it's two different thing, protective witness and state witness.
I guess yun nga po yung pag-aaralan dito. Bilang panghuli, paano po yung ginagawang pakikipagtulungan ng Senado dito sa ICI? Sa nakikita po ninyo, paano po kaya magbibuild ng solid case around those who are most responsible here? Ano po yung mga kinakailangan?
Well, we will be submitting all our evidence gathered during this committee hearing, Blue Ribbon, from start during the time of Senator Marcoleta up to this time of Senator Ping Lacson. We have to submit it to them mga names, ng mga tao, mga involved, circumstances and other mga documentations, mga withdrawal, etc. Ito turn over namin kasi our focus na lang is for legislation na paano ba natin maiwasan kasi nangyari na ito noong 2013 eh. Pero ano ba nangyari? Parang tinitignan ko kasi Miss Gretchen, yung hearing noon ng Blue Ribbon, it's not for legislate a law, kundi prosecuting even some members of the Senate. Hindi siya actually to legislate the law. So at this time, we have to make sure na we will come up with a law. We will have to legislate a law na maiwasan ito from start to finish, paggawa ng budget hanggang execution ng project. Dapat talaga, kung ako tatanungin, dapat walang involvement ng politika dyan, Miss Gretchen.
We are with you in that direction. Naghahanap po ang taong bayan ng ngipin sa batas po natin at people will be held accountable. At hindi po katulad nung dati na naabsuelto lang eventually ang mga salarin. But in the meantime, we will leave it there. Maraming salamat for joining us this morning and answering our questions. We have the Vice Chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Thank you, Ms. Gretchen.
Meanwhile, tensions flared at the House of Representatives following an exchange between Cavite 4th District Representative Kiko Barzaga and House Deputy Speaker Janet Garin. A video posted online shows Barzaga greeting Ilocos Norte Representative Sandro Marcos before asking about a supposed case involving his uncle, former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. When Marcos did not respond, Barzaga made a snide remark prompting Garin to intervene. Barzaga filmed the incident himself, which has now gone viral on social media. The tension comes amid ethics complaints filed by and against Barzaga by Deputy Speaker Ronaldo Puno. And for that, we have on the show House Deputy Speaker Janet Garin to tell us more about that incident. Congresswoman, welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting and calling me, Gretchen.
Okay. Kung unang-una, ano po ba nangyari dito? No? Kasi nakikita po natin yung snippet lamang dun sa video. Pero kayo po nakakaalam, I guess, the context around what happened.
Well, to be honest, almost every day that Congressman Barzaga is present during plenary deliberations and during sessions, marami kasi siyang hindi magagandang mga salita that he keeps on saying when sessions are ongoing. Of course, I tolerated him for a long time, no? Tapos pati rin yung iba. And even if he would insult some of the members, mangi-insulto siya or meron siyang mga hindi magandang sasabihin, we tolerate that. The bottom line of all of this actually is the fact that he really wants to be Speaker of the House. So, yeah, kaya nga, nung before yan nangyari, he keeps on convincing us not to let him assume as a Speaker because he has this 1 week time frame for Speaker Boji D. Siyempre, hindi na lang namin pinapansin, no, yung mga ganyan. But then there were actually, I just can't go into the details because he is there are, of course, I believe there were complaints filed before the Committee on Ethics, no? Pero sa when we were all busy with budget deliberations, and nagmamadali rin kami kasi on that day, I think we finished 3 o'clock in the morning and we resumed 9 a.m. And then, tapos we were projecting that during the day we will finish at around 4 a.m. But we were able to finish it around, I think, past 2.
So madaling araw na ho ito, yung video po.
No. That one is early on. Pero, kumbaga, araw-araw, madaling araw na kami natatapos. Kaya very serious na talaga ang budget I mean, all the time, budget deliberations are serious, especially now that we are putting in reforms. At talagang many members who are interpolating are voicing out the concerns of the general public. Yun nga mga hinanakit nila sa nangyaring insertions the past years. But then, andun nga yung mga iba nagtatanong po. Bottom line is, it's a serious task. We are doing our task. Pero syempre, si Kong Kiko does not participate in plenary deliberations. Pero andun yung he keeps on making kulit to let him assume as the Speaker of the House. He would always say kasi na, if you want peace, let me assume as Speaker. Ako personally, I really try to understand him. But that time, poking his phone on my face. Kasi palagi siyang nakaupo dun sa tabi ko. But he has actually his official chair. Kaya lang, kung dun siya umuupo, pinagbibigyan na lang.
Oo. Kayo po ay magte-testify dito po sa Ethics Committee?
Well, the way it goes is once an ethics complaint is filed, we can't actually discuss it in public because it will it can be a basis for hindi siya pwedeng mapag-usapan pag kami na-file na.
Okay. Let's go to the hearing yesterday over at the Senate. Napangalanan po si House Speaker Martin Romualdez, former House Speaker. Siya po ba ay wala ng avenue dito sa House na magsalita given that the Infracom has already terminated its inquiry?
Well, even during the time that the Infracom hearings were being conducted, any member of the House mentioned we usually request them not to vent out during the hearing kasi magiging pangit tingnan na ando doon may ICI naman for the in the case of the former speaker Martin Romualdez. He has always informed that prior to his resignation that when the time comes, if in case his name will be mentioned or not, then he will face the investigation. That was what he assured us. Well, nakikita naman namin, he's ready to answer all allegations and questions. Kaya lang, yun nga, what happened ultimately was there were claims na hindi raw maayos yung witness. So we really don't know the details. But I believe he will answer. He will answer.
Kong Chanco has filed an ethics complaint against Congressman Zaldy Co for several issues, one of which is yung unsubstantiated nga po na kanyang pag-alis at pagliban dito sa kanyang role sa Congress. Meron po ba kayong napag-uusapan na regarding this? Kasi meron pong 4 na klase ng punishment kung sakasakali that can be imposed, like reprimand, censure, suspension, and expulsion. Yung expulsion nga po yung nangyari kay Kong Teves. Ano po direction ng House regarding that?
Well, I believe the first hearing will be on the 29th, if I am not mistaken. So that will be properly dealt with. We will hear the sentiments of the House and we will hear the basis of Congressman Toby Chanco's complaint and decide accordingly.
Kasi pag ganun po, pag siya po ay na-expel, siya po ay pwede nang maisamo, no, sa mga hearing. Tama po ba? Masabpina.
No, even if he is not expelled, he can always be subpoenaed.
As a congressman, wala pong,
Yes,
kahit may
yes.
interparliamentary courtesy. Oo.
Yeah, in fact kasi lalo na kung kunyari yung pwede ka talagang masabpina. The interparliamentary courtesy can apply but not at all times. No, and in this case, since the allegations are quite extensive and he has been mentioned by not only one but I think 2 or 3 witnesses.
Okay.
He has the moral obligation to respond.
And wala po kayong updates dito nga po sa whereabouts ni Representative Zaldy Co? Kasi marami po nakakita sa kanya sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo. Meron nga po sa Singapore, meron sa Madrid.
Wala eh. Before, yung mga kasamahan sa ako Bicol Party List, we're still attending sessions. But for the past days and weeks, hindi namin na nakikita. But even when all of this surfaced kasi after the SONA, I believe there were some members who were trying to contact him. Medyo hindi ganoon may nakakarating, I think may nakakakausap. Pero it became very difficult after a few weeks. And during the Infracom meeting, after the first Infracom meeting, I think somebody was able to contact him. That's why we were hoping that we were told they will be back in 2 weeks. Pero after noon, nahirapan ng makontak.
Okay. Oo. And bilang panghuli ho, no, ito nga pong hearing po ng Infracom ay terminated na. Pero people are asking what are the findings? I mean, in aid of legislation, what are possible laws that could be proposed or bills that could be proposed here? Kasi baka doon na po ba nagtatapos yun?
Well, it has not been officially terminated, but there has been an agreement that since the ICI has been formed so as not to jeopardize investigations, hindi na magpapatawag ng mga witnesses or accused itong Infracom. But legislative-wise, ang nakikita natin dito napaka-importante. Maraming nakalusot, let's put it this way, naging problema ang ghost projects and extremely substandard projects. Kasi ang daming ahenta yung bentahan, the selling of projects that made it very expensive, na hindi na talaga makatarungan. How can that be resolved? We have to go back to the master plan. Pag flood control kasi may master plan yan. Even the rock netting, meron niyang master plan. Konting-konti lang mga lugar na pwede niyang paglagyan. Even farm-to-market roads. Now, if that master plan is being followed, yung areas ng projects na yon is extremely needed and the expense is commensurate to the cost. No? Kasi pag kailangan, andun talaga yung, let's say if it's flood control, talagang andun yung malakas na tubig na talagang babahiin. So, hindi mo pwedeng dayain ng ganun-ganun lang. And I believe that updates to the LGUs concerned and even the legislators, it should be given by the DPWH. No?
Oh. Pero hindi po ba yung budget process din ang kailangan maireforma rito? Actually, as Congresswoman Laila de Lima has expressed concern na baka ma-railroad na naman itong budget. Specifically with the Budget Amendment Review Subcommittee, she posted, susuriin nating maigi yung budget, hindi pwedeng niraratsada, hindi pwedeng bara-bara. Ano po yung pagbabagong ginawa po ninyo para hindi po mangyari muli yan dito sa 2026 budget?
Well, mostly kasi nangyari ito because of the flood control project. So, for this 2026, although we admit that needed ito sa ibang mga lugar, pero kasi under investigation, mahirap na nagpapatong-patong yung iniimbestiga. At itong tsaka hindi rin na-update yung Project NOAA. So, there'll be no flood control projects for 2026. And hopefully, talagang mailalagay siya sa tama by 2027. Now, many of this, like example, the utilization of the unprogrammed funds, meron kasi yung parameter kung saan pwedeng gamitin. No, it has really, nakita kasi natin na naabuso yan. During the time that I was a member of the cabinet during the Pinoy administration, binabalikan kasi yung parameters where the program fund should be spent. The problem here is the listing does not go through Congress anymore. It just goes from the executive to the executive branches. Let's say if the requesting agency, DPWH, then to DBM. And then tapos na. So, I think the listing, no, the itemized listing, the line listing of the projects to be funded by the program funds should have to pass through legislation. Kasi the more people involved, the more na makikita mo, dun natago sa program fund. That's also why many members of the House were blinded. Kasi kami, nagugulat kami, paano napondohan yun? But then wala naman sa lista. Yun pala sa program fund. And now we do not really understand paano nagawang lumobo ang unprogrammed fund. Because my understanding before, ang unprogrammed fund kasi excess tax collection. Ibig sabihin, you have a projection na ito yung iyong buwis na makakolekta, and then excess na makakolekta mo, yun na ang pwedeng gastusin na unprogrammed fund. So, ito, ano ba to? In-underestimate? Kasi the projection is quite scientific bakit lumaki? Okay? Sinasadya ba na ibaba? Hindi natin alam, no? But then it boils down that we have to really investigate how the unprogrammed fund is being utilized. Kasi ito ang nagiging window of opportunity. Now, in the case of the infrastructure projects, this was already reformed by Secretary Dave Singson during the Pinoy administration. Andun yung cost, yung costing. And now what we are seeing, example, in the case of rock netting na ipinagbabawal nga namin ngayon, except in extreme cases, nagkaroon pala ng administrative order si Secretary Mark Villar. So yung reforms na ginawa, medyo nabaliktad. That's one. Ito namang mga cat's eye, yung mga mahal na mga stickers or signages on the roads, pinatanggal na rin yun. And then, ang isa rin palang reform na ginagawa ng Kongreso ngayon, ng House of Representatives, is to do away with the 70-30 or 60-40. What was happening before, itong DPWH repeatedly told us there is a 70-30 rule. Ibig sabihin, 70% ng net ng infrastructure ay mapupunta sa national highways. 30% lang dun sa local. Yung national highway na yan, halos taon-taon inaayos. Ngayon, hindi siya mapondohan because of these rules that they have made. And we have questioned that annually kung ano yung basis. Now, under the leadership of Secretary Vince Dizon, he categorically told us na walang basihan talaga yun. At tama, yung paulit-ulit namin tinatanong, that has been scrapped away. What is the implication? If the 70-30 rule is scrapped away, masasemento na ngayon yung mga daan na hindi national road, provincial, municipal, or barangay roads. Yan na ngayon ang mangyayari. Kasi nakita namin, ito palang 70-30, ginawa na kunyari batas, kunyari ruling, so that much of the funds will have to be siphoned to flood control projects.
Okay.
Kasi sasabihin nila, national highways lang or flood control. So, that is what happened.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Sana nga po talagang ma-institutionalize po natin yung mga pagbabago, kundi pa ulit-ulit lang po. And we hope that it doesn't end here. In the meantime, maraming salamat po for joining us this morning. We have House Deputy Speaker, Congresswoman Garin.
Thank you. God bless. Good morning and keep safe, everyone.
Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back after a quick break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here in One News. Several areas in the country continue to brace for severe tropical storm Oppong, which has made landfall over San Policarpio's eastern Samar at 11:30 p.m. yesterday. It made its second landfall in Palanas, Masbate at 4 a.m. From Masbate, Oppong will move across the Sibuyan Sea, southern Calabarzon, and northern Mimaropa before emerging over the West Philippine Sea late Friday evening or early Saturday morning. Now let's get more details. We have on the show OCD spokesperson Junie Castillo. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen. Good morning to all our viewers of Morning Matters.
Okay, Junie, can you give us the latest update on the current situation in eastern Samar following Typhoon Oppong's landfall?
As we speak, Gretchen, no, it's ongoing. Our monitoring and our coordination with our OCD regional offices from Eastern Samar, as well as the Bicol region, especially in the province of Masbate, no, they mentioned to us, no, that this typhoon is really that strong, no. I mean, for all the other areas that will be traversed by this typhoon, pinaghahanda po talaga natin ang ating mga kababayan kasi ayon po doon sa mga nakausap natin, malakas po ang hangin na nararamdaman, ganun din yung dulot na pag-ulan po nitong bagyong Oppong.
Okay. But meron na po ba kayong preemptive evacuations na pinagawa dito po sa mga areas?
That's right, no. As early as 3 days ago, we've been conducting the preemptive evacuation, no, through the Department of Interior and Local Government. Sa datos natin ng mga kababayan natin, we have meron pong 16,000 families, no, from DILG, at saka umaabot na po ito ng almost more than 20,000 na mga kababayan natin who have done a preemptive evacuation.
Sa inyong pagtala po, kailan po kaya yung pinakamalakas na pagdating nitong bagyo? Is it going to be today until tomorrow?
Well, it has traversed, no, Eastern Visayas already, and then the Bicol region. So we expect, no, that today and then until tomorrow, no, that our weather will really be bad, no, including here in Metro Manila. That's why the president, no, has ordered the NDRMC to really be on full alert and then on full mobilization of all our response agencies. And then ganun din sa mga kababayan natin, pinaghahandaan po natin, kahit po well, there are times when we feel like maganda naman ang panahon, no? Huwag pong makakampante, no, dahil malawak ang sako po nung bagyo, which means the other half could pass through us, no, dadaan yung mata, and then meron pa pong kalahati, no, na dadaan pa sa atin. So wag pong makakampante. For those doon po sa mga kababayan natin na nasa listahan noong flood prone areas and then landslide prone areas, maghintay po sa abiso ng ating mga lokal na otoridad kung pwede na silang bumalik or pwede nang umuwi sa kanilang mga bahay. Pero habang wala pa po, no, yung mga nasa preemptively evacuated natin, dapat po manantili tayo doon.
By us, you mean Metro Manila? Ito po ay it has a big chance of traversing through Metro Manila?
Yes, Gretchen. In fact, no, the typhoon actually enhances the southwest monsoon. So in terms of the heavy rains that will be experienced, it also will be here in Manila. In fact, right now, no, nararanasan natin from where I am right now sa NDRRM Operations Center, malakas po yung buhos ng ulan. Doon po ang inaabangan natin, no, but because of that heavy rain, maari po ito magdulot ng mga flash floods, especially dito sa atin sa Metro Manila.
Okay, ano po yung mga areas on high alert apart from Metro Manila?
Dahil po sa lawak ng bagyo, at saka dahil doon sa mga nagdaang Super Typhoon Nando, merong Mirasol, we've actually alerted all our regional offices, especially itong dito sa atin ngayon for bagyong Oppong. Ito pong Bicol region, and then the southern Luzon areas, kasama ang Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, and even dun sa northern part of the country. Kasi nga po, dumaan pa lang yung Super Typhoon Nando at meron po doon na mga nasa baha pa, saturated po ang lupa, kaya even the light to moderate rains can actually bring about flash floods and some areas, landslide.
What are your numbers from Super Typhoon Nando? Wala po bang casualties o meron po ba na-injure?
Yeah, from the combined effects of Mirasol, Nando, and now Oppong. Although for Oppong, we don't have that casualty number yet, but for Nando and Mirasol, for casualties, for validation again, through our management and the dead missing cluster, we have a reported 14 deaths and then 17 injured and 2 are still missing.
Saan po ito? Mostly?
Yung isa po sa Benguet, this was due to the landslide that happened at Marcos Highway in Tuba, Benguet. And then two are from Bataan, and then one from Cagayan, due to falling debris. And then some are from also in Santa Ana, Cagayan, no, 7 from Santa Ana, Cagayan, due to the a boat that capsized, no. So these are the numbers that we're looking at, and for validation, as I
Medyo
mentioned.
madami-dami po yun, ano. What precautionary measures are currently in place for the OCD to prepare for another one?
For in terms of OCD, and not just the Office of Civil Defense, actually the whole of the National DRRM Council, which is composed of different government agencies. The President has ordered the NDRIMC to be on full alert, on red alert status, meaning everyone should be on standby for deployment. All the prepositions, all the resources are ready if in case this would be needed, no, to be deployed in some of the areas. In terms of the response clusters, all of these clusters have been activated. That includes the food and non-food item cluster. This is led by the DSWD. Also, the search, rescue, and retrieval cluster led by AFP. In fact, yesterday, we were able to we got that window of a good weather to fly to Batanes, and then also to Calayan Islands, and then we were able to bring food packs from the DSWD, and then coming back to Manila from Batanes, we brought back 88 stranded tourists, no, mostly Filipino tourists coming from Batanes, because they've been stranded for some of them over a week already. And then from Calayan Islands, which we actually see is the most devastated one of the super typhoon Nando, we have brought family food packs yesterday through our choppers, and then we were also able to evacuate. No, a medical evacuation was conducted to 5 of the patients there.
Okay, it's good to know that you're very much prepared for this. It is a rainy season after all. At ang magandang balita, walang pasok bukas. Weekend naman. Ibig sabihin, kumbaga nasa bahay mga tao. So, less chances, no? If people continue to stay at home. Maraming salamat for the updates, and we will stay prepared for the storm that is to come over here in the rest of southern Luzon, as well as Bicol region. Maraming salamat. You have OCD spokesperson Junie Castillo. And moving on over to sports. Filipina tennis ace Alex Ayala defeated Japan's Mei Yamaguchi to advance to the quarterfinals of the Qingshan Open. The 20-year-old dominated the round of 16, winning 6-0, 6-3 in just an hour and 12 minutes. Ayala fired early, breaking Yamaguchi's serve 3 times to take the first set, and overcame a brief challenge in the second to secure a straight set victory. Now, up next for Ayala is either India's Ria Bhatia or China's Lu Tiaqing, as she aims to continue her run toward a second WTA Challenger title. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. My name is Gretchen Ho, your One News, all sides, all the time.